anything outside of, I think, 10 feet. But the putt says to go into it's hard greens to read.
Florida wakes slowly. The grass is still damp, the air heavy with salt and morning heat, and the fairway lies quiet, as if holding its breath. A lone figure stands near the edge of the range, shoulders slightly rounded, weight shifting carefully from foot to foot. He grips the club with hands that no longer move as easily as they once did. His knees ache, his back resists. He exhales, steadies himself, and swings. The sound is clean but lonely, the ball lifting into the pale sky before falling softly into the distance. No crowd reacts, no camera follows. There is only the echo of contact and the breathing of a man who refuses to stop. That man is Vijay Singh. He is 62 years old, and this is what remains when the noise is gone. There was a time when the world moved at his pace, when leaderboards bent to his name, when his presence alone unsettled opponents. Vijay Singh did not arrive in golf as a prodigy shaped by privilege or tradition. He came from Fiji, from heat and rust and salt air, from a place rarely mentioned in the same breath as Augusta or St. Andrews. He came from the edges of the sport, not its center. And yet, through relentless discipline and a will that bordered on obsession, he forced his way in. 3 major championships, 34 PGA Tour wins, world number 1. A Hall of Fame career that statistics alone cannot fully explain. For years, he was not just competing, he was enduring, proving, surviving. Long before the trophies and rankings, Vijay was a quiet boy growing up near the coast of Fiji, where the ocean set the rhythm of life and opportunity was limited by geography and class. His home was modest. The air smelled of metal and oil, salt and sweat. His father worked as a mechanic and part-time golf coach, a stern man shaped by labor and restraint. Praise was rare, expectations were not. In that household, words were economical, and affection was expressed through instruction rather than reassurance. Vijay learned early that approval, if it ever came, would have to be earned. Golf was not meant for boys like him. The courses belonged to tourists and wealthy locals, men in clean shirts and polished shoes. Vijay watched from the edges, barefoot, holding clubs fashioned from scraps, hitting whatever he could find: stones, coconuts, battered balls scavenged from rough grass after dark. He practiced on sand and dirt, learning control without comfort, precision without forgiveness. When he was chased away, he returned later. When he was mocked, he stayed silent. Silence became his shield. Work became his language. He understood something most children never have to learn so young. Talent alone would not be enough. If he wanted a place in that world, he would have to outwork everyone in it. That belief never left him. It hardened into routine, then into identity. Even as a teenager, he practiced longer than others, not because he loved repetition, but because he feared being overlooked. Fear became fuel. Discipline became survival. When he began competing internationally, he carried that intensity with him. But the professional world was not gentle. In 1985, during a tournament in Indonesia, everything unraveled. An accusation surfaced regarding his scorecard. The details were murky. The judgment was swift. He was labeled a cheater and banned from the Asian Tour. There was no careful inquiry, no meaningful defense, just a decision that closed doors overnight. For a young player far from home, without influence or protection, the verdict felt final. That moment could have ended him. Many careers would have collapsed under that weight. Instead, Vijay disappeared into obscurity and kept working. He taught golf at resorts. He practiced alone. He carried the stain of accusation without the luxury of resolution. Those years were quiet and humiliating, filled with doubt and isolation. But they also stripped away illusion. From that point on, he stopped expecting fairness. He stopped expecting welcome. He played because he had nothing else. Golf was no longer a dream. It was the only place he still existed as himself. When he eventually clawed his way back through smaller tours and into Europe, he did so without fanfare. No one was waiting for him. No one cared. He traveled cheaply, practiced obsessively, and slowly rebuilt credibility the only way he knew how, by posting scores that could not be ignored. His work ethic became legendary. While others rested, he trained. While others celebrated, he returned to the range. He was not chasing admiration, he was chasing security, a fragile sense that the ground beneath him might not collapse again. By the time he reached the PGA Tour, he was already older than most rising stars and far less visible, but he was ready in a way few others were. His game was steady, controlled, relentless. In 1998, when he won his first major championship, it felt less like a breakthrough and more like a confirmation. 2 years later, when he won the Masters at Augusta, the symbolism was unavoidable. A man from Fiji, once abandoned and dismissed, now stood atop the most exclusive stage in golf. He accepted the green jacket without theatrics, his expression restrained, almost guarded. Triumph for him was never loud, it was heavy. In 2004, he reached the summit. Vijay Singh became the #1 golfer in the world, surpassing Tiger Woods in an era defined by Tiger's dominance. It was an extraordinary achievement, one that should have rewritten perceptions and secured his place in the sport's emotional center. Instead, it reinforced his isolation. He was respected but not embraced, celebrated but not quite loved. He heard the whispers, he read the subtext. He understood that excellence had earned him tolerance, not belonging. The media often described him as cold, robotic, emotionless. What they mistook for detachment was protection. He had learned too early what exposure could cost. Emotion invited judgment. Silence offered control. He kept to himself, traveled alone, trained alone. While others formed friendships and narratives, he stayed focused on the work. It wasn't loneliness he sought, it was safety. But safety never lasts forever. As the years passed, his body began to collect payment. Knee surgeries, back problems, pain that settled deep and refused to leave. Still he practiced, still he competed. His streak of consecutive major appearances stretched on, a testament to endurance rather than comfort. When it finally ended, it was not due to lack of desire, but because his body would no longer cooperate. In 2013, another storm arrived. Reports surfaced linking him to a banned substance, a deer antler spray allegedly containing IGF-1. The details were complex, the reaction was not. Headlines returned, judgment followed. Once again, his integrity was questioned publicly before facts settled. Though he was never suspended and later cleared of wrongdoing, the damage was done. Suspicion lingers longer than truth. Vindication rarely travels as far as accusation. This time, Vijay fought back. He filed a lawsuit not for money, but for dignity. Years later, the case ended with acknowledgement that he had not violated the rules. There was no apology, no public reckoning, just closure, quietly delivered. The world had already moved on, and Vijay, once again, was left to carry the weight alone. Now, in Florida, the days are quieter. He still wakes early, still stretches carefully, still swings, not to compete, not to chase numbers, but to remind himself that he is still here. Each movement requires intention. Each practice session is a negotiation with pain. But stopping feels worse. Stopping would mean letting go of the one thing that never abandoned him, even when the world did. At home, the trophies sit without ceremony. Photos gather dust. His life is smaller now, measured in routines rather than results. He spends time with family, he reads, he watches younger players rise, some from backgrounds not too much like his own. He notices them quietly, without comment. He knows what it took to open those doors. He knows what it cost. When asked why he keeps practicing even now, he answers simply, because this is who I am. Not because he needs recognition, not because he believes there is more to prove, but because golf was never just something he did. It was the structure that held his life together when everything else fell apart. Vijay Singh's story is not one of easy triumph. It is not clean or comfortable. It is a story of perseverance without applause, of excellence forged in isolation, of dignity maintained through silence. He did not change the game with charisma or spectacle. He changed it by refusing to leave, by standing his ground long enough that the world had to adjust around him. In the end, his legacy is not just measured in wins or rankings. It lives in the understanding that greatness does not always arrive smiling, and that belonging sometimes is taken, not given. As the sun climbs higher over the Florida fairway, Vijay Singh gathers his clubs and walks slowly towards the range, his steps deliberate, his posture worn but steady. The world may no longer be watching, but he is still swinging, and that, for him, has always been enough.